My father would be in the field, there'd be a metal fence, and then my father ploughing in the field, and I hated school. And then I had to be out there watching my father
through the fence.
plough. I'd be crying because I didn't want to stay. I wanted to go with my father. Oh, it'd be riots. Riots.
Yeah. And there was a gateway in that fence. They made the gateway ready for all the housing.
Yeah.
That was that. The gate was always locked. You couldn't get through it.
You couldn't get through it.
This field was called the Chapel Field, which we used to grow corn and Swedes on. And then you had a field here called Catila, which is a great place in the winter for sliding down on the snow. Very steep. And then you had a quarry just at the edge there, where they produced marl. That's all gone now.
Isn't that the origin of the name?
Yeah, we think because the colour of the marl was a greeny blue, that Marlas was named after it. And then you've got the Hall Farm just there, Titangler's Farm just over there, and our sheep over there.
I can remember when I was little going with Jack Dallow in the dray to clip mangles up there, and I was frozen to the marrow, absolutely frozen.
Yes.
And we couldn't come home until Jack had decided we clipped enough mangles. Oh, was I frozen. Yeah.
But I can remember one year we had spuds, and it was so wet, like this year, that we were washing them in the river.
In the river, that's
the
right.
Little bridge down there.
Yeah.
And that was cold.
And
That
do you
was
remember
freezing.
in 1961 when everything froze?
No, 62.
62, was it?
Boxing Day 62.
That's right, it started because I was staying with Nana Pyle.
Yeah, we had about 6 foot of snow.
Yeah.
And the water froze on the bridge.
Yes, and we had no water. And then they used to go down, I went with tongs down to the river to fill the churns with water.
For the cows.
That was cold. Because you had to break the ice on the side of the river
Yeah, to get
the water. God, it must have been really cold.
Oh, it was cold. But it was dry.
It was very dry, but it was grey. The sky was always grey, giving me a headache. It was so overcast.
Cousin Phil,
Yeah.
he used to come down, well, once or twice a year.
Yes, and he said he always loved to come because he was the outsider, but we always made him feel welcome. Which is really sad when you think about it, wasn't it? Because we just thought he was our cousin, you know. When he used to come down and he'd be all immaculate, wouldn't he?
For a while.
For a while. Didn't last, did it?
No. And then we made a gamble, which he christened Jezebel. And used to go flying down Marlas Hill then when there was not much traffic.
Oh, it was a lot
In
less
those
then,
days,
wasn't it?
yeah.
A lot less.
Buzzing down there. I don't know how many times come off. Creepers. The steering would go or something. And you'd end up going up the bank
Back
and falling
down,
back
yes.
down onto the road. I can remember shimming Swedes in that field with a horse. They put me to sit Monty.
Oh, Monty was gorgeous, wasn't he? My father used to put me up on Monty, and he was like, 16 hands, 17 hands.
Really big.
He was huge. And I suppose as a child he was even bigger, wasn't he? And he used to put me on the top, and he'd say, grip with your knees. What good is telling me to grip with my knees, for God's sake?
Yeah.
Only one knee I could grip with. So I used to hold on to the mane, because I'd fall off.
So what was he like when he was working, your father? Was he stressful?
No, he was never stressful, was he?
Never seemed to be, no.
Never seemed to be, I mean, you couldn't tell, really, because we were so young. But he never seemed to be stressed, but it was all work.
Yeah.
There was nothing else, it was just work. And, he took us to see South Pacific in Cardiff. Remember that? He took us to see that.
Mm.
He took me once to see about my caliper in Cardiff. That was the first James Bond film, and he took me to see that.
All right. Dr.
I
Lowe.
think it's because he wanted to go to see it.
I can remember him taking us to the fair in Porthcawl.
Oh yes.
And we all got lost.
Yeah.
Right? The three of us.
Accidentally on purpose.
And that's the only time I've ever seen him really annoyed.
Oh, he was cross, wasn't he?
And he put his hand in his pocket like that and drew out a load, must have been 10 bob or a pound notes. And was shaking him at us. We could have spent this tonight.
But we didn't because we just backed off.
And I mean, it wasn't a big place, was it? You know, not Treacle Bay, Coney Beach.
Coney Beach.
How could we get lost there?
Well, we did.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did.
God knows.
we were young. We were 10.
Yeah, but we didn't have any money to spend, so we were just walking round.
Yeah. No, we didn't have any money.
No.
I don't know why we did that. Silly, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a bit.
And he was cross.
Yeah.
He really was cross.
We wanted to go on the right.
Yeah. You'd have enjoyed him, I think. And what my father always bought was music. He loved music, and he used to buy records, didn't he? Remember?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. And he altered. There used to be a wind-up gramophone, and he altered it and put electric one inside the wound-up one, because it was like shaped like a grand piano.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful piece of
Told him about
furniture. Beautiful. I don't know where the hell it went, but my mother had no thing about furniture, did she?
Do you remember what his?
I got
Do you remember what his favourite record was?
well, he had a few, didn't he? He used to like the people. Tommy Steele. He used to buy records of Tommy Steele's, which were long players in the beginning. Then they went down to the 45s.
But his favourite was the.
Got the whole world in his hands. Yeah. Got the whole world in his hand, and he used to sing that. He sang that in a wedding in Llamiangl, and he danced all night.
Is he a good singer?
No, he didn't have a tune in his head. Because he used to say they didn't know what they had a choir in Kennelly School. He was telling me this. They had a choir in Kennelly School, and they couldn't make out who was singing out of tune. And it was my father.
Yeah, but he wasn't just out the tune. He was deep as well, wasn't
Yeah, he had to totally. We used to go down we had a green little pickup, and there'd be like Maggie May, and we'd all go down to
Morva, the moors.
down the moors to look at the cattle, and we'd be all in the back, and my father would be driving. We'd all be singing and going down, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Big gang of us would go.
We go down to the beach and sometimes.
Sometimes we would, sometimes we wouldn't. Depend how rushed he was.
Yeah.
Daddy did everything really. He did all the welding. He loved welding, and he loved making things like he did the dryer to dry the corn.
Yeah.
He enjoyed doing that. And he tried it in the malt house first, but that burnt. Remember?
Scorched the barley.
Scorched the barley. It was no good.
Tried to use the kiln.
Yeah.
To try it.
So you know if he was
Made
working,
coffee out of it instead.
If he was working all the time, when you worked with him, was he like sort of fun and chatty to work with, or was he sort of just quite quiet to get on with it?
Well, he was both,
Like,
depending on what he was doing.
Depending what he was doing.
Yeah.
Didn't tell us many stories, did he?
No.
No, I don't remember any stories.
He bought a combine down in Pembroke. Halford Westway somewhere.
Yeah.
So he bought it. He went down there with Cyril Reese took us down. And Dad drove it back, and I sat in the hopper on top where the corn went into to give directions. And it took us so long to come back, I felt I was asleep in the end. It seemed as if it was taking all day.
Well, it was a fair old distance, wasn't it?
Oh, long way. And it was on the Pembroke Dock Road, or Pembroke Town Road. And it was coming down this hill, and the hill seemed to last forever, and we had about 300 cars behind us. They couldn't overtake on the way down.
Right.
Oh, that was torture. It was all this kind of weather.
I think we were brought up pretty much the same way, because we were quite wild as children.
Yeah,
we used to do dull things, didn't we? And now, my own granddaughter, Emma, said to me the other night, I can't do that, Grandma. It's not allowed. I said, Emma, you're standing on outside Leo's. There's 2 posts sticking out the ground. I said, if you want to stand on it, stand on it. For goodness sake.
Yeah.
I said, break a rule. Get up there. So she said, can I? I said, yes, get up. So she did. But I mean, I think sometimes
Kids are not adventurous
as
anymore.
anymore.
They're
They
stuck
don't.
In
And you have to tell them what to do, isn't it?
yeah, they're stuck in a room playing the computer games. Well, she used to look after her chickens when we had the chickens. So she used to sell all her vegetables, spuds and whatever.
And we did the spuds as well. We had to sell spuds, didn't we?
Yeah. But before we were all born, she used to do a lot more
Outside work.
outside work. Yeah.
Yeah. She liked to work out more than work in. She preferred it.
Yeah. And get out of the way of Martha.
And my mother didn't like housework. She's not interested in the house. So, in any shape or form. So, she was happier outside. And I can remember in where those houses are over there, that side, we had, do you remember the stucks we were stuck in it? I can remember doing that.
Sheaves, you know.
Yeah, sheaves, we
Yeah.
stuck the sheaves.
You know, and in all the fields.
In all the fields. But
Yeah.
I remember Mammy being there,
Oh, right.
doing that as well.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have her to drive because
Oh,
she was
God.
terrible. You bit your finger. I remember David had his hand in his eye, he bit his finger because she was driving.
We were in
Canal-
South Canelli,
Canelli.
in Morris's fields there.
Oh.
And my father was teaching her to drive in this green Austin we had. And we were going across the field, it's a 15-acre field, going across it, straight towards a quarry, which is about 80-foot, 90-foot drop.
She didn't.
And my father said, right, you can turn now. You can start to turn now. Turn! We all leapt off the back. We jumped.
Just like abandoned ship.
It was like a, what they call it, Keystone Cops thing. It
She
whoosh.
just had no comprehension
Oh.
how to drive like. It just wasn't there.
And then my father bought a scooter for her.
Okay.
And she was, well, she went down Marlas Hill with legs sticking out like this. And the steering going, well, like that. And she ended up, like we did with the Gambos, going up the bloody grass bank and falling down again.
She just was
Oh.
dull.
Jeez.
And you know, it's not difficult to drive like this.
But she did the same thing on a horse on the 10 acres.
Yeah, she fell off, didn't she?
Legs flapping in the bloody wind, fell off, got her foot stuck in a stirrup,
I was dragged.
and was dragged.
The horse dragged her. Because she
yes.
frightened the horse. The horse was all right. She just got his legs going like this alongside was too much.
Terrible. Incredible. But we used to build dams across the river.
Yeah.
Philip was there as well then, trying to stop the river.
As if, innit?
Yeah.
As
Then we
if.
used to make barrels, what they call them, rafts, out of 45-gallon drums.
That's right, to float.
And when the field flooded down there near us, we used to float on it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think about being washed away,
It wouldn't occur
which
to
we
you.
could have. We could have been washed away to sea.
Or it would be a lot, we'd have ate something before you'd have washed away to the sea.
Well, possibly.
Well,
I
because
mean,
the river does that, doesn't it?
yeah. But when
I
it's in full flow, you then jump off.
I can remember taking, do you remember when we'd be feeding all the men? There was to be a bench in the kitchen, the back kitchen.
Yeah.
And I remember a really heavy old bench, right? Carrying it down, all of us, carrying this bench down, thinking it
turn
was
it
going to
upside
float. Did it hell?
No.
I mean, why would we think it would float?
If you turn it upside down, it looks like a canoe
Canoe,
with 4 legs sticking up.
yeah.
Never floated.
All that work for nothing.
We was told off once when my father played down with us for cutting clods out of the bank to make a dam in the river with a sword. Because it was long.
You could do it tidy.
Oh, I'd go out for that.
And we used to make dens down the Graig, didn't we? On the side of the Graig by the tree. You know the one tree as you come out of
Yeah.
the bottom yard? There was a tree there. We
Yeah,
had to
and
have
you
dens,
could
but
go under the
you could go
roots.
under the roots of that.
And he used to make dens down in the Pandy.
Yeah. Oh yes,
Out of
we loved
ferns.
to go to the Pandy. And there was little islands off the Pandy in the middle of the river,
yeah.
isn't there?
Two, yeah.
Two of them.
Yeah.
It gets soaking bloody wet. But
And swim in the river in the summer.
we had rows for going up and mucking up the barn. I remember a gang of us going up, and it all the bales that were all right and tidy, and the Mayflower was out, and we were making dens and making it pretty by picking the Mayflower and taking it in there. Oh God, we had round for that. And for sliding down. I can remember the bravest thing I ever did, because I hate being confined. He had one rick and he'd built another rick onto the side of it, and there was a hole through the middle of it.
Yeah.
Run along over there.
Yeah, just there.
And that was really brave for me to go through that. And I made myself do it. I did do it.
Yeah.
And it was straw, wasn't it?
Straw.
Because he picked hell out of it as he went.
My Clatbury kid did it, and when he came out the other side, he had a long straw stuck in his eye.
Oh.
There used to be a stile just over
I
there,
was just going to stay where's the style gone.
where we could come from the rickyard into this field.
Into it.
And then there used to be a wall, maybe 12, 14 foot, and then the gate.
Gateway.
There was a big tree fell down there, and we used to use that to jump the horse over.
Yeah, I got a photo. Did I give you a photograph of of you and Philip?
Oh, there used to be about 20 of us, this poor horse.
Would be knackered. Absolutely knackered.
We'd all have a go on the horse, belting down to the bottom of this field, which was about 300 yards long, belting back and jumping over the log. And trying to stop before the wall.
Clattery was there as well in this photo. Mike Clattery. And I can't think. Nartas.
Yeah, Malcolm Shell.
Yeah.
Marion. Philip, if he was down.
Philip was there, always standing to one side, Philip was, because he was terrified of them.
Yeah.
He would never, ever go anywhere near them. He would love him, he was afraid of lots of things, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was very nervous child, very nervous.
Well,
I think we were brought up, I think the way we brought up gave us confidence. it was kill or cure, basically.
Oh yeah, trial and error, wasn't
it? And the only one who was quite a firm hand, really, was Grandma.
Well, Dad bought, I think it was a dozen Gallinis, brought them home from Bridgend Market. The fox killed them the same night.
Shouldn't laugh, it was terrible.
Blood and bits everywhere.
Everywhere.
That was in the donkey shop.
Yeah, in the donkey shed. Do you remember when all the kids used to come down to pinch the apples and Daddy shot them with barley?
No, I don't think he shot them, he shot
up.
Yeah.
But it came down.
Yeah, the stuff came down.
Like rain. I'm sure it's illegal.
But we used to do the same. We used to go to Flemington to pinch apples.
I used to go
they
down
had nicer
the mill.
apples than us.
Yes, they
did.
did.
Oh,
they had much nicer
beautiful
apples.
apples.
And Mrs. Wood the mill did.
We used to go down there, right, like a gang of cowboys and Indians, under the bridge, right, onto the marshy field that's there. And the closer we got to Flemington Orchard, we used to go into the river, walk down the river, and then up the bank into the orchard.
Yeah.
An adventure. It was a real adventure.
Well, it's a long way from home, really, wasn't it?
Hell of a long way.
Yeah. And Auntie Topsy was telling me one day about they were walking to school, Auntie Catherine, Auntie Topsy, Bob, Evan and Daddy, and the geese were performing, were nasty. And my father just caught hold of the goose, the leader, swung it around and slung it. They all went down. Oh, he had a beautiful garden. My grandpa was a really good. I used to get the blame for pinching the peas. I couldn't stand peas. Strawberries, yes. Raspberries, yes. But not the peas. That was Mary and John, that was. And I used to have the blame. Do you remember?
Yeah.
The strawberry didn't even get red because I would have eaten it before he got red.
We used to pinch the peas and the strawberries. When you'd hear my grandfather coming out of the door, and we'd all dive under the potato haulms.
Yeah.
And we thought we were safe there, you know.
I thought he couldn't see us.
And he'd start
Thrashing.
smashing the top of the potato haulms. Because he could see us, he was playing with us.
Yeah, but he
And
didn't
we
realise.
were absolutely scared witless. This bloody big, he had a
long
blackthorn
thumbstick.
Yeah. And he used to wave this thing. Because he used to petrify us when we were kids. But the more you think back,
He was playing.
he was playing with it.
And when I went, when I was 13, I went into Lava to have this operation in my foot. He'd had strokes by then. He wasn't at all well, was he? Couldn't speak or anything. I know, he was so upset. He was crying. Terrible.
Yeah.
Awful, poor old bugger.
And when we were mowing some of the fields here, I can remember him in the acre, which used to be over there.
And on that top corner up there, sharpening the knives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the gateway.
Yeah.
In the acre.
Yeah.
And he'd have this tripod thing.
Which held it tight,
It was like a
didn't it?
vice, yeah, and he could sharpen or change the blades, the sections on that.
And
And that's all he was doing,
Yeah.
all day.
he'd do that.
Because you'd
He'd
have
be
to
helping-
sharpen them to be able to mow properly.
Yeah, and he'd be helping Daddy.
Yeah. And he'd have the scythe with him sometimes then.
Oh, he could use that.
Yeah.
He was really good with the scythe because the top lawn was immaculate, but the snowdrops would have to, and the dafts would have to die back before he'd scythe it. So, because then you couldn't mow it, could you? Because it was like up here.
Oh, his hay, yeah.
So he'd do that.
Mm.
But he could grow anything, but he
Oh.
wouldn't give it away, and he'd have enough for an army. It was ridiculous. We'd have Grandma would go up there then, and she'd take stuff out of there, and she'd give it away, and then he'd go berserk because he'd take it.
Well, she had nasty, did she?
No, but he wasn't willing. He wasn't willing for anybody to have it. And nobody could eat the amount he'd done there because it was too much. He could do anything with the horse. He was really good, and he used to jump on the horse over the back, you know, vault on.
Yeah.
He could do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Indian style. Go from side to side.
Side, yeah. That's what I mean, see, we were a bit wild.
Yeah.
I used to go down the common on Raja without a caliper on.
Yeah.
How stupid! How stupid was that? And he'd get me off, and I'd be sitting on the common thinking, well, this is bloody great, I'm going to get home from here. And I'd sit, he'd come back, he would come back. And
He was a good horse.
yeah, he was a good horse. The only recollection I got, I was 2.5, and the only recollection I got of it is being in Kevin Hiddecoid, and the nurse washing my hair and pushing me under the, swilling my hair, because I had long hair then, in the bath, and being terrified. I thought she was trying to drown me.
Oh, and they all used to help each other then in the summer on the thrashing and harvesting. Go from farm to farm. I can remember that well. You'd have a yard full of people, and when they all had food, they used to have a huge table out on the back in the sun, a couple of benches, and you'd have, I think there was 26 people around the table.
In Marlas?
Yeah.
You do the cooking?
My mother. But you start buttering bread, I guess, after breakfast and finish just before dinner. Making sandwiches, but you won't see those times again. Not where a load of farmers would come together to help each other. You just won't see that anymore.
A lot of chat?
Yeah. Yeah. And one contractor there lost his thumb in Marlas, had it chopped off in the thrashing machine.
How old were you when they started doing all this?
About 11, I think.
At the school year and everything. How did you feel about it?
My grandfather didn't like it. We used to, when they started pegging this lot out for the surveyor was there we used to drive wooden pegs into the floor as markers, and we used to go out in the evening as kids and pull them all up and nick them. fetch them home. And then my grandfather said, don't pinch them, don't fetch them home. He said, put them somewhere else and knock them back in the ground. So the houses would be all over the place then. That was a real laugh.
Yeah.
But there were big elm trees along there, massive, 4 foot in diameter. And we used to knock copper nails into them as kids for the thunderstorms to strike the copper nails. And they never did.
Yeah.
And then you've got the big river down there, and the little river down there. So it was an ideal dairy farm, wasn't it? Because you had free water supply.
Yeah.
Totally different, eh?
Yeah.
Some say the best crop you can have is houses. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.